Hello, everybody. It is Miss Dana coming to you live from the Southold Library with our next story time, where I decided to do another science-themed one. And we're talking about light. So you can have a lot of fun with light. We're not really doing any kind of science experiment this time around, but I'm sure there's plenty of ideas on Pinterest if you want to do something with light. But I was wondering if you knew of any type of thing that you can think of right now that gives off light. I'm going to be talking about a few things. Maybe you can think in your head what you think of right away when I say light. I have a feeling, even though I can't hear you, and this is a video, that you're saying electricity. When you say light, you think like when you walk into a room and you flip a switch and then the lights come on in your house. That is what I think of very first and foremost, but you'll be surprised at how many other things give off light. And we'll be talking about that today. Like in our story that I chose for today is How to Catch a Star by Oliver Jeffers. So when you look up at the night sky, you see stars and they look like they give off light, that they're shining in the sky, right? This little boy wants to try to catch this star. It's very hard to catch a star, isn't it? It's very, very high up in the sky. And you would probably need to go up in a rocket to see all of these stars close up. But let's see how he catches a star. Once there was a boy, and the boy loved stars very much. Every night, the boy watched the stars from his window. He wished he had one of his very own. See him looking up at the bright star. He dreamed of how this star would be his friend. They would play hide and go seek, and they would take long walks together on the beach. It would be nice to have a star for a friend. A little tough though. Let's see if he can do it. He seems very determined. The boy decided he would try to catch one. He thought that getting up early in the morning would be best, because then the star would be very tired from being up in the sky all night. I don't know. What do you think about that? Can you see stars during the day? Not really. It's hard to see them because another type of thing that's up in the sky, it really gives us light every single day. What is that that's out during the day that gives us light that's way, way up in space? The sun. The sun is so bright giving off light that you can't see stars during the day. You might have a little trouble with that. The next day, he set out at sunrise, but he could not see a star anywhere. So he sat down and decided to wait for one to appear. You think he'll see one at all during the day? I don't know. He waited and he waited. He ate some lunch. You see any stars? I don't see any. He waited, and after dinner, he waited some more. But look, the sun is starting to go down. Just before the sun was about to go away, he saw a star. There it is. The boy tried to jump up and grab it, but he could not jump up high enough. So very carefully, he climbed to the top of the tallest tree that he could find. Think that would work? They're so high up, stars. The star was still way out of reach. He thought he might lasso the star with the life preserver from his father's boat. That's a good idea. But it was much too heavy for him to carry. It's a good idea, but it's also very hard to do. If it's too heavy to carry, it's very hard to throw up into the sky to catch a star. I don't really know if it would be a good idea to try, because that's really tough to reach that star. Look, it's way, way up in space. If only he could fly up in a spaceship and just grab that star, but the only spaceship he owned was made of paper. It didn't fly very well at all. That wouldn't work in space. Oh, perhaps he could get a seagull to help him fly up into the sky to reach his star. But the only seagull he could find did not want to help. He's probably saying, "Are you crazy, little boy? I can't fly up that high to get that star." It's way up there. The boy worried he would never catch a star. It's really hard to catch a star, a real star. Excuse me. Just then, he noticed something floating in the water. It was the prettiest star he had ever seen. Just a baby star. It must have fallen from the sky. Remember earlier in the year we had talked about Kitten's First Full Moon? Read that book? Kitten saw the moon's reflection in a puddle of water thinking that it was milk, right? But it was really just the light shining from the moon down onto the water, and it was a reflection. It really wasn't the moon, and it really wasn't milk. So that's the same thing that's happening in this story. This boy sees the star's light shining on the water, and he thinks that there's one floating in the water. Got so excited, he tried to fish it out with his hands. But when the boy reached out to touch the star, it just rippled through his fingers. See, it's not really a star at all. It was just the light's reflection on the water. Oh boy. Now the boy was sad, but in his heart, the wish just wouldn't give up. Slowly, he began walking home. See, there's a flash up in the sky. Sometimes stars fall in space and they make that light, that arc. They call it a shooting star. And sometimes people make wishes on shooting stars. So maybe his wish for catching a star might come true. What do you think? In a different way, though. That's when he saw it. Washed up on the bright golden sand. What is it? It is a star, a different kind of star. The boy had caught a star. It's a starfish or a sea star. It's not a star from the sky, but it's a star that's made on the beach and lives in the water. Now it was a star of his very own. See, he did get his star. It might not be the one that he thought about originally, but he still does have a star. And there he is with the star, reading this book to it. He's so happy now. So he did get a star, just a different kind. This is by Oliver Jeffers. We have a lot of books by Oliver Jeffers. I love the illustrations on them. So if you want another one, you should come into the library and visit, and you can get another Oliver Jeffers book. So we talked about one thing besides electricity lights that give off light. The sun and stars give off light up in space. So I have another craft that talks about an animal that gives off light. A firefly. We don't really see fireflies now because it's too cold for them. Usually we see them when it gets warmer outside. But look at his bottom. His bottom has a glowing light. And I thought it'd be fun for us to make our own firefly that gives off maybe a little bit of light. We'll see if it works. I'm hoping that my glow-in-the-dark paint works. So in your bag, I gave you 2 pieces of black construction paper cut out. It looks like wings, and also a peanut head, kind of a peanut-shaped head to be the firefly's head. Almost looks like Batman. Has kind of that look to it if you put it straight up. So you take the head, put it up top, and then you glue it on top of, you kind of put I made sure I cut one of these so that you can kind of see what I did. You layer it. You put the wings kind of out like this, one facing one side and one facing the other. So you kind of glue it on top of the peanut head. One here and one here. You can kind of do it from behind too, if you can kind of see. You kind of have it glued to the back of the peanut head. The picture will help you too, if you look at the picture, so you know exactly how to glue it on. So now you have a firefly head and wings, and the back, I gave you a spoon, because not a lot of people have glow-in-the-dark paint. I have glow-in-the-dark paint here in the library. So I figured I would just paint the spoon, just needs to be this part of it, with the glow-in-the-dark paint to make it glow. I tried to give it 2 coats. So hopefully it does still glow when you turn off the lights in your house after you're all done making it. And not a lot of people have glue dots, but I put a glue dot on the back, just at the top, to secure the spoon to the back of your firefly. But you have to make sure that the glow-in-the-dark painted part sticks out a little bit, so it looks like the bottom of the glowy bottom part of the firefly sticking out. You see how that works? But if you don't have a glue dot at home, tape is just fine. You could just tape the spoon onto the back of your firefly, and then it will stay. It probably will stay even better than the glue dot. So that's what it looks like. So the last part, you don't even have to do the antenna if you don't want to, but I just thought that it was fun. You poke holes in that peanut head. Maybe you could even do that first, but use a sharp pencil. I'm bringing it up close so you could see. So then you can poke 2 holes in the top of it. And then you just thread your little, because I gave you some pipe cleaners. They're cut up though, small. So you can thread it through the 2 holes. Can you see how I did that? Just kind of thread it through. Kind of looks like an arc. You could thread it through to make it look like antennae. And then there's your firefly. So hopefully when you bring it into a room that's dark, or shut yourself up in your closet, hopefully the little glow-in-the-dark spoon part of your firefly will glow. Glow in the dark and give off a little light. If you want to, sometimes it might fade. So if you want to buy some glow-in-the-dark paint yourself and repaint it, then that's fun too. Or you could even just paint it yellow, and you could pretend that it is glowing if it doesn't really work for you, if you don't like the look of it, if you want to change it, because this is your firefly. It should be whatever you want. So that is the firefly craft. So now we talked about 3 things that give off light. Well, actually 4. Electricity, the sun, stars, a firefly. What else do you think? What is this? A flashlight. A flashlight definitely gives off light. Can you see? Oh boy. Especially if you're stuck in the dark outside or if you're having a campfire or something, it's fun to have a flashlight around. I thought it would be fun for you to make your own constellations. It's a fancy word for how, you know, how all the stars line up in the sky and sometimes they look like things. One is my favorite, the Big Dipper. So if you go online, go on the computer, and then you can look and see, they have pictures of how the stars line up to look like things. And the Big Dipper is an easy and a fun one. I gave you a piece of black paper in your bags so you can cut it up. But first you have to find a flashlight in your house. And then you need to put it down on the black paper and trace around the outside so you know the black paper circle will fit perfectly over your flashlight. My flashlight is very small. You might have a small one. You might have a huge one, a big industrial one. So you have to make sure like your circle could be a lot bigger than mine to go over the flashlight. But whatever size it is, it will work. The black paper will work. So you just have to put it over the flashlight once you make your constellation. Once you look at a picture online and look, you can punch holes with a pencil inside your circle and then take some tape and tape it on to your outside of the flashlight. And then once the disc is taped on there, you can turn on your flashlight and then it will shine through the holes and you could shine your flashlight on the wall and you can make your own constellation, stars, shine it on the wall. Make sure that the lights are off. So then you can see star patterns on your wall. Really fun. Really fun to do. I didn't poke the holes ahead of time. I should have done that, but I don't know whether you would be able to see it anyway through the video. But I'm sure you'll have so much fun with that. You could even put different other shapes inside your discs. It doesn't even have to be star patterns or constellations. You can make like a circle in there, but then that would be kind of the same thing as a flashlight. Or you can like have your parents help because it could be a little complicated. You could draw a heart in the middle of your circle and then punch it out, like make your own stencils. So then you can shine a heart on the wall. But I figured constellations would be a little easier because all you have to do is punch holes. If you punch holes, you could even make a different picture with the punched holes. Maybe you could even just do heart pattern with the little punched holes, or a star pattern, or you can kind of make different shapes, like you can shine a triangle or a rectangle or a square on the wall. And you could even maybe tell stories with some of the shapes that you put on there. You could have so much fun doing flashlight play with those discs. So it's all, there's a good picture on there too, on your instructions. See all the little pinholes? And they actually fit it snugly inside the flashlight instead of taping it on. You could do it either way. So we talked about so many things that give off light. Electricity. Do you remember the next thing? The sun, the stars, fireflies, and a flashlight. What else do you think can give off light? It has to do with what I gave you, another activity idea in your bag. Glow sticks. Glow sticks give off light. They're so fun at birthday parties. I gave you 10 of them because usually there are 10 pins that you can set up to play your own glow stick bowling game. I figured this would be really fun. I've done this in the library before with the kids here. I think it'd be fun for you to do at home too. We usually don't have bowling pins unless you have a toy that's a bowling game, but this is even more fun when you can make your own. Save 10 water bottles. After you drink those water bottles, instead of recycling them, putting them in the recycling bin, keep them and fill them up halfway with water, just so they're a little weighted that they won't knock over too easily. Maybe even like a quarter, maybe not even halfway, because you want them to be able to knock down with water. And then after you put your glow stick inside, you crack the glow stick and put it inside the water bottle and seal it up tight. And then you put it in a pyramid pattern. You almost like put them kind of in a triangle type of pattern. Can you see that? So 4 in the back, then 3, then 2, and then 1. And they all glow, all different colors. Then you turn off the lights in your room so you can see them all light up, and get a ball, maybe like a small beach ball or something. And then you all take turns. Your whole family can play this glow stick bowling game and take turns, and then roll the ball and see how many of those glow in the dark pins you knock down. And then whoever knocks down the most pins wins. It's really fun to play with light. There's so many different ways that you can do that. And like I said, there are science experiments too that you can do. I figured we would just talk about fun ways to play and craft with light in mind. But I hope that you have fun with all of the ideas that I came up with for you, and Pinterest helped. So next week we are going to be horsing around. We're going to be doing horses as a theme. So hopefully we will see you next week for that theme, and enjoy your light activities this week. Take care, everybody. Bye.